5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome to the main word, brought to you by Away with Words, the podcast. It's Free Stories.
Ajano Asia.
And it's A Tati.
So today,
I'm a phone hoe.
A phone hoe.
That's why, like, I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be like my side job. Oh, now everybody gonna want to do it too. I'm gonna get me a little track phone, and I'm gonna be a phone hoe.
why do there have to be phone hoes though? Is that just what you want to be?
Yeah,
called?
that's what I want.
Okay,
to be
that's.
We talk about doing that all the time in college.
No, I was really about to do phone sex for a while. I just couldn't like put the action towards it. I would think about it all the time, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do like the first few
Like the fact that
calls,
people,
and
the
then
fact that
just
that's
get
still
somebody
prominent.
else.
Yeah.
Because
Dudes are fucking weird.
Yeah,
The
they
fact
be
that they
wanting
would pay for that.
Can I say something funny real quick?
Yeah, sure.
With my grandma, we was talking about one of my friends who's
A phone hoe?
No.
Oh,
just doing something weird with dating or whatever. And my grandma was talking about like, you know, when you date certain men, y'all know my grandma be saying crazy shit. She was like, when you date certain men, they be wanting certain crazy shit done. She was like, I'll never forget. I dated this one man. They called him shit eating Charlie. I was like, why would they call him that?
Why you go out with him?
Listen. She said that she didn't know it till after. She said, and I really like Charlie. I like Charlie a lot. She was like, and one day we was like, she was like, we went on like three.
Talk you said that you liked.
She said she went on like 3 dates with him,
I
and
really
before
like
the
Charlie.
4th date, he called her and was like, I want you to take a laxative.
No.
Before the date, my grandma was like, "For what?" She was like,
No.
because he wanted her to, you know.
No.
My grandma was like, she hung up the phone so fast on
no,
Charlie.
no,
She
no,
never
no,
spoke to
no,
him again.
no.
But he called her a lot.
We need to find Charlie. Like, Charlie. We heard.
All right, so today's main word is not about shit or laxatives or dating people who like those things,
Maybe.
but it is about marrying outside of your race. But I have like a lot of different themes here because Ajano Asia sent us a screenshot of a woman talking about, well, black women don't get married, blah, blah, blah. And it made me curious about the actual statistics of that and just about our experiences with that, even though none of us are married. But I just wanted to talk to you all about these stats and get your insights on these things that I found. So I have a couple of questions, but I also just want to give you some of this data, right? So, and the percentages, I'm going to give you the percentages first, but I'll give you the numbers too, because percentages to me are like, okay, I'm bad at math. So that doesn't really do it for me, but like numbers are wow. Actually, I'll just give you the numbers then. And this is as of 2017. So just last year, 409,000 black men who are married were married to a white woman, as opposed to 172,000. Did I say 409,000? 409,000 black men who are married have a white spouse. 172,000 black women who are married have a white spouse. So that is more than double the amount of black men marrying white women. Okay. But we also have numbers for other races, just two. 162,000 black men are married to Hispanic folks, and 82,000 black women to Hispanic folks. 130,000 black men married to people who are other, so not white or Hispanic, but right. And 53,000 black women are dating others. So
Wait. Just wait. So these are the numbers. This is like they're saying. So this and the rest of the people in the world didn't get married last year.
no, this is all only married people. So
Right.
409,000 black men who are married to white women, as opposed to 172,000 black women who are married to white men.
Okay.
And 162K
No,
for
okay.
Hispanics. Okay. So it just got me to thinking, because the post that I just sent to us was just talking about how black women don't get married and the reason why black women don't get married. And, you know, it's like all of these just like stereotypical things. Like black women are not considered marriage type because they're, you know, too like aggressive or too strong or think that they can do a man and a woman's job and blah, 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 blah. But I'm really curious about that. I'm really curious about what it is, and I want to know what you all think. Like, what do you think are the qualities? Specifically, I want to focus on white women for some reason. But because that is like a staggering number. So 409,000 black men who are married to white women, as opposed to 172,000 black women married to white men. And what is it do you think that we're looking for as black women that keeps us from looking at white men as more marriage material than black men, as opposed to black men looking at women thinking like, oh, white women are fucking down for it and I'll marry a white woman instead? What do you think that is?
I think black women don't marry white men because they think they have little penises. And I'm not trying to be funny. But I think that's the stereotype. They think that because, black men are known for having, large penises.
Big dicks, which is not always the case.
Yeah.
Do you think that makes white women more? No, that wouldn't. Do you think that it's the same for white women? Do you think that white women are marrying black men because they think their dicks are big?
I think it's that. I think it's because they have like a secret infatuation with black people that they can't like, or just African American culture. Yeah. Just African American culture that they can't necessarily like talk about proudly unless they feel like they're connected to it in some type of way. So that's why they marry black men.
So it's a way to insert themselves in the culture, knowing that they can't actually do that.
Yeah,
that's an interesting point. What do you think makes a white woman more desirable to a black man as opposed to a black woman? Was that my original question?
No.
That wasn't my original question.
You're saying, why do we think black women are more prone to only wanting to marry black men than white men?
Yeah,
right.
I shouldn't have asked that first, but yeah,
okay.
That's cool.
I think that it has to do a lot with, like we talked about before, I feel like women grow up with an ideology of marriage and like just idolizing and dreaming about it like their whole lives. And I feel like because women have this obsessive idea about marriage, that especially if you weren't raised seeing interracial like relationships, then the ideology as a child is of you and a black man, like someone that like looks like that's all you know. And I feel like it takes a lot of deprogramming to even picture that picture looking any differently.
Yeah,
like it has to be really like, taught and like, or not even taught, like you just have to see differently. Like you have to have a lot of different experiences, see a lot of different things to realize that this picture you had in your head when you were 5 years old, doesn't have to be like the end all be all.
Got it. So what is it do you think is more desirable about a white woman than a black woman for a black man?
Oh shit, I don't know. You should ask some of the black men in here.
No, but so we know what the we know the stereotypes though, right? I'm very interested in this because the stereotype, especially as opposed to what that young woman was saying, was that black women are like mouthy, too strong, too willing to like do everything, too unwilling to like let go of certain things, and white women don't come from that.
I think it's because black women are just like, okay, so you're not gonna do it, I'm finna go and do it by myself, and white women are more submissive, like, okay, well, you said you're gonna do it right. Okay, I believe you, even though it's been 5 years. I'm gonna wait. Like, and black women like, nigga, this been 6 months. I asked you to do this. You're not doing it. I'm finna go do it myself. Just, like,
but what do you think is undesirable about that?
Because it's not submissive. Men think that's not being submissive because we're too independent, but it's just the fact more so that they are not acting on things. Like, I remember I was dating my ex and his dad said, can you take out the garbage? He said, okay, I'll do it. I said, he wants you to do it like right now. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's not like when I get a chance, like, it's bothering him right now, just get up and go do it. Like, or he would have said, can you take it out? It's like
way you take it out when you want to take it out.
Right. Or can you take it out when you leave? He said, I was about to say his name. He said, can you take the garbage out? Like, as in, like, right now? Like, not when you walk out the door.
Can you take the garbage out?
Like,
right now?
So, I think that's like we're just not willing to sit back and wait, and men don't like that because they take that as, you're not letting me be a man. Well, we tried to let you, and you're not doing it, so now we have to step up and do what we asked you to do.
Right.
And they don't like that.
What do you think?
I agree. Mm-hmm. I think that is the case. I think that I feel like most men, like, they want to be. Like, they want to be, like, the man, like, the quote-unquote, like, in everything that embodies. Like, they want to feel like they have the power in this relationship. They want to have like the last word. They want to be the ones that are really like the say so in the household. Like it might look like your mama in charge, but we all know that behind closed doors, like whatever I say is like what's gonna happen. And I feel like Black women are very independent because they have to be, like we've said for years and years, like they have to be. A lot of, especially like a lot of Black homes, like are single mom homes, like and it's just women, or even like me, like it's just like all the shit that I be doing up in the house. I don't want to do that shit, like, but it's just me in there. Like I don't want to be doing yard work and like shoveling snow and stuff like. But it's just me, and instead of men when they come into women's lives wanting to show, instead of wanting them to like show them that I can help you and show the value that they can bring into the relationship, they just look at like the tough exterior and be like, yeah, nah,
she doesn't need
like that, like she don't need me. And it's like I would actually need a lot of help, but if you're not gonna do it, like I'll be fine.
So another statistic that I picked up, and this is much more about just like, so in comparison to Black men, less Black women are married, right? So I thought that this was interesting as well in the conversation of Black women being less willing to date, let alone marry outside of their race. From the year 1910 to 2010, so this is just like a steady climb from 1910 to 2010, the rate of Black men who go unmarried are climbing at the same rate of Black men who are in prison. So that leads me.
What you say?
They're not going to prison because they're not married. That's not what that means. We gotta marry these kings. No,
Like save them from incarceration.
Marry multiple men to get them out of prison.
That's not funny. And you can get married in prison.
Sure can.
Right.
Keep that in mind.
Oh, girl did that on Black King.
Oh, what?
Oh, she did.
Donna.
Do that.
Oh, yeah. Donna's
Oh, I never heard of that. But I thought you was going to say love after lockout, because I know they be getting married to people while they're in jail, and then they get out of jail and all hell breakers. That's just what I heard. I never saw the show. But that's just an interesting fact to me, and it would explain why more Black women go unmarried than Black men. Because if Black men have literally this undying just pool of women where not only they're willing to date and marry a Black woman if they are, but they're also willing to date and marry outside of their race. So they got this like seemingly endless pool of just like women that they can fucking take home and love or whatever. Mm-hmm. And for us, if we even have it in the backs of our minds of like, because I was thinking about this when I was reading it, and I'm like, I don't know if I've ever like said out loud or if I believe definitively that I would not marry a white person or someone outside of my race. But I know that in the back of my mind, I don't see that. Like, I don't see me with someone outside of my race. So with women, Black women being much more committed, like what is it? Even though we know that, like we know that the incarceration rate is so high and that Black males are at the top of that. Like, what is it about Black men that keeps us so committed to dating within our race that Black men don't have? Because we're growing up the same ways. If you're growing up in a 2-household family and you Black, you're seeing 2 Black people. Like, that's what you're seeing, and we don't get a lot of representation of interracial marriage. So if their upbringings are being the same as ours, why are we so committed to staying within our race and Black men aren't? Or fuck the last part. Just why are we so committed to being within our race? Period.
I don't know. I think it's just we think it looks nice.
Mm.
You know, like everybody want to be the Cosbys, or you know.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Get so mad. Everybody wants to be like, you know, like the Cosbys or
the Huxtables, right?
Yeah, the Huxtables. Or what's the family of the Blackish? Everybody want to be like them,
Johnsons.
you know. Yeah, so I think it just, you know, we think it looks nice, and we think we
But is that because there's no representation of interracial marriage? I'll tell you all another fact that
I was about to say, I think there's actually a lot more representation of interracial marriage, because like if you look at a lot of ads now,
for sure,
like they show like a lot of like light skinned curly haired kids with black mama, white daddy on commercials. And
but that's
stuff
like now. But like when we were brought up, because I don't know the science behind this, but I feel like when you're most impressionable as a child, like those are the things that stick with you, and like as an adult, you don't realize the habits and things that you've created, but they come from when you were a child.
You have to be shown that this is a thing, that you have to be shown that this is just as normal or just as acceptable or just as likely as everything else that you're saying.
Speaking of which, I was talking to my friend Sarah yesterday, and she was telling me about something that she heard on a podcast that she listens to called Code Switch, the podcast. And in the state, and I did not know this, but in the state of Alabama, interracial marriage was not legalized until the year 2000. So that means that we were alive and well at a time where a state in the United States had not legalized interracial marriage. Like that to me blows my mind. And so the podcast went to Birmingham, Alabama, and did like a live show. And so they were interacting with the audience, and they were talking about how, okay, the law passed in 2000 that it's okay now for you to marry outside of your race, but the percentage and the rate at which you all do in this state is still like terribly low. Like, why is that? And it's because after all of that time of not only that not being represented, but it not being acceptable, it's like in your mind, you don't even think that, especially as a black man. Like black men, especially in a place like Alabama, I can imagine like for a black boy growing up, his dad and his dad's dad were brought up in an era where even talking to a white woman can get you killed. Mm-hmm. So if that's been your ideology and your upbringing, you don't even think to look at a white woman, like period. Like whether or not it's okay now. But I just think that it's really interesting, like what it means for our upbringing and how it kind of like closes us off, I guess, because like we were talking about last time we were recording about soulmates, if we don't believe in soulmates and we do believe that we can find someone and love them and work on it, maybe it is wise to open ourselves up to other races. If that's the case, if more and more black men are more more willing to dating and marrying outside of their race. Huh?
I'd say committed.
Oh, well, yeah. But, if more black, because, I mean, my brother's best friend is about to marry a white woman, and that broke my heart because I love him. I've loved him since the third grade.
Anytime I've ever been approached by a white man, I don't even, my mind, no, not even like that, but like my mind didn't even process it enough to take it for real. Yeah. It's like I laugh it off like immediately.
You're like a white boy's talking.
Yeah, like if I'm out or like we're at a bar or something, like and a white guy like it's just kind of like bye. And I just I laugh or I'm nice and stuff, but in my mind doesn't even attempt to even think
wow
to really talk to him or really be like, okay, let's see what he wants. It's always just like, that was nice meeting you,
right,
and like walk off.
And why do you think that is?
Because they ain't never like Channing Tatum or nothing.
I mean, so because then the statistics also show on dating sites that black women are very undesirable on dating sites. So for real, I think it's black women and Chinese men who get the least amount of swipe rights. That's not funny. Well, maybe not Chinese men, but Asian men. Because you can't tell if he's Chinese when you look at his picture. But no, I just wonder I don't know. I feel like my thoughts are getting all jumbled up now. And just this world of black women are undesirable. And that's why there's a less amount of black women being married as opposed to everybody else. And also everybody else is more willing to everybody else. But we're the only ones that seem to be I don't know if it's true or not for other races, because I'm thinking I know for a fact that white women don't tend to be so stuck on marrying a white man. I don't know that for a fact, but you know what I'm saying. I feel like white women have exercised a little bit more liberty in dating outside of their race in recent years. Not just recent years, but in recent years. I don't know about Mexican or the Hispanic community, but I'm wondering if black women are the most committed to dating and marrying in their race.
I think it's also a little bit of women who are like us, who are like thinking like, if I bring a black man around, if I bring a black man around, if I bring
Y'all go fuck them.
Yup. And you already are just joking. If I bring a white man around, how is he gonna act if my friends start talking about the N-word, or it's like it's. I think it's a little bit of that. Like, how is he going to accept my culture, and how am I gonna accept his culture, and how are we gonna?
White people don't have a culture. It's okay. Go ahead.
Well, when I say white, I mean white.
And white is a skin color, so why can't they have a culture?
When I say
They
white,
could
I
be
mean like
anything.
Irish,
Well,
Italian.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They could be Irish people don't have culture.
I didn't say I said white people.
But white is a color.
We'll talk about that another day.
American, I guess what you're saying.
We'll talk about it another
but they're
day.
not even American.
No, they talk to them about that. I'm telling you. There are too many factors to think about.
I think that's how in my opinion, they have culture. How will our cultures intermingle with one another? Like, I think that's like another big thing that black women, who are like mindful of their surroundings. That's like.
So do you think that black men are just a little more careless?
They're like, they don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't think about like.
Most of the times, the details that women think about in dating, men don't think about in general anyways.
Yeah.
And women are naturally more accommodating.
Yeah.
So I feel like even if there was a problem, like if a black man was dating a white woman, that woman, I feel like is gonna make sure that if she really wants him, she's gonna make sure that she does the work to like make it happen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm sad. All of the data that I was reading, it just made me sad. Like, it just made me. I mean, I'm not a person who aspires to be married in a general sense. Like, I just don't think about that at all. I aspire to be with a person though, and I think that like it made me think a lot. Like, damn, do I have to like stop? Because I think a lot about manifestation too, and I think that in this day, and I think like me and Aja talk about this a lot, just about how you have to be intentional, you have to be clear about what you're looking for, and it's like, damn, do I have to be this intentional and clear where I'm like, okay, and God, he can be white, like, and God, he can be Mexican, like, and it's like,
I just be like, God, just send him with a penis. Send him with a penis to use on me. A big old, wide, long penis. I'm loud. Your mama and daddy can hear me.
The children.
I feel the same way though. I feel the same way though. I feel like my only thing that I'm clear about when I think about men is that he has to have a dick, and that's it. Like that, I mean, that's obvious.
And that's it. Oh, I love it.
Coming out wrong.
That's not true, because that was the only qualification you would have one. If that was all
I
you
don't
was
like
asking
anybody.
for.
I don't like anyone. But
Exactly.
but when you go
Like to be
through
creative.
but when you go through like
Let's go down the list. You would like
no, when you go through the rigmarole, because especially for people like me who like wake up one day and realize like, damn, I don't date or talk to anybody, and it's like, well, why? Because it's not like people are not around. I don't like them, I don't like these people. So it's like, so it makes me think, do I need to be that specific? Do I have to be that much more open as far as like race and stuff?
I think that might also have I feel like that has a lot to do with why black women are so, like you said, committed to dating black men too. I think genuinely that's what we like. Like that's what like we prefer. And it's like if you put, like a black man and a white man next to each other, like if we have to pick, we would all like a lot of the times. Do we know their
qualities and characteristics, or just based off of the fact?
Well, I'm just talking about like appearance,
right.
But I feel like with men, like that's not always going to be the case. Like just physically,
and with men, they might steer closer to white women, just even based off of that,
or any different, like just physically.
Exotic.
But women, but like women.
Yeah,
we look at black men as the peak, as the epitome of like this is what a fine man looks like.
I love that song.
Who ain't afraid to pull my hand, scrape me from the bed.
Me,
I can't wait to have
we
hair to pull. You can pull it.
You sure can pull this?
No, but
I don't know nobody pulling your hair like that.
Yeah, that's
like having to get this much of a grip. Like having to be like, wait,
I got this experiment. I got this experiment.
got it.
We
I
should
like
all
this.
get on dating sites and only speak to white men.
Can you do that on Tinder?
I mean, you could just ignore
Can
Yeah, you just have to swipe left.
Yeah.
and
No, but I'm saying it would. That makes it harder because I mean, there's a lot of. Here's the thing. When I was on Tinder last, because I got off Tinder, because I got off all that shit. But I was on Tinder last, and in certain areas, like around my house and like by my job, it's way more white men than black dudes. And originally, I be looking like I'm swiping just because I don't see nobody black. But then when I stopped doing that, and I'm like, okay, I'm swiping on all these fucking white boys, and none of them swipe back on me,
Oh,
except like one or two.
maybe they just didn't see you yet.
No, they didn't. They don't fuck with black. They don't fuck with us.
I think they do.
They don't fuck with me. I should say.
He said, "I will."
But I think we should do that, and then we should also so we should get on like maybe like Tinder and just do white guys, and then we should get on Black People Meet, and obviously we
Black
know where
People
we're going to meet
Meet.
there, Black people. So we should just do an
Except for
experiment.
those one white dudes who be on black people meeting the soul site talking about I'm looking for a
different
Nubian
dating
queen.
So we should do that.
That sounds.
But I don't. But I don't.
do it.
But my whole thing is like. But my whole thing is if white dudes are not checking for me, which I'm not mad at that. It kind of is not flattering, but it's something in me that's kind of like, ooh, I'm glad that I.
You know
don't
the
care
other
with
thing
white
too.
people.
I don't feel that has a lot to play in that. I feel like black men, I don't feel like are intimidated to talk to like
White
other
women?
races and stuff. Yeah,
Oh.
but white men,
Oh yeah.
I feel like are intimidated. Like they have to really see and realize, like, okay, this girl is open to this.
Facts.
But yeah, like white men, they're not. It's not gonna be as common for them to think like, oh, like yeah, I'm about to pull up on shorty and see. Like it's not the same.
Yeah, well, white dudes is always so much stuff. It's either they're completely normal and fine, which I feel like is rare in the dating sector, or they're too scared to talk to people outside of their race, or they on there looking for a Nubian princess to put on 6-inch heels and fucking walk on their fucking chest and stuff, and like.
But if
shit
they,
on
what
them.
if you like met them and went out with them and then like really liked them and then they
And then he said that.
yeah.
Said that he wanted me to like tie him up and spit on him and call him a.
I don't know. I'm talking about the not the nasty stuff like that,
saying fat
but
about
like yeah, but maybe like the heels and like the bondage.
Or what
and
if
stuff.
what if he was just like, oh, for all your people have been through, you can treat me like a slave, just with me every day. Then I would be like, get the fuck out of my phone.
I would think that was kind of sweet. I'm joking, everyone.
I feel like if you really fell for
Yeah, I
a
feel
white
like you
guy, like if
would.
you really fell for him already, and
Yeah.
y'all were like in it,
Because-
and he
then
said that to
asking, not the slave.
No, I was about to say, what are you
Yeah, no,
talking
not the
about?
slave part.
not treat me like a slave.
Oh, if he asked me to walk on him with heels on, I would
yeah,
do
but
that.
just like
Just
the
his
wife,
bondage,
like
yeah.
bondage, like that
step
type
on
of
his
stuff.
balls and stuff.
You.
Me and Audrey both said,
Some men like that. Some men like for their balls to be tortured. Tortured.
what about you, Michael?
Tortured taints.
I already did.
Tortured taints.
Michael said every night.
Not me.
Touching his neck. Oh,
Touching his balls. From touching your balls on touching your neck. Okay, well, that's all I had. We didn't really have an objective. I just wanted y'all to know that, and I want y'all to think about that, and I want you to come back and tell me next week if you feel like you would. Oh, I didn't even ask y'all. Do you feel like you're open to dating outside of your race? I was talking in general.
Oh yeah, I had a white
Man?
Oh,
I'm lying.
we never saw this man.
No, I'm lying.
But you
That
would.
mean I don't tell y'all everything.
Wait, do you have a race that you wouldn't date?
That's to you.
Oh.
I was like,
Oh,
she
no.
was like, she was
Oh,
leaning.
no, my
I was like,
ear.
he was leaning into you. I was like,
My ear. Give me my
a
ear.
race that I would not date.
Ooh, this might not be
That's
a good
mean.
idea. Yeah, I'm saying, but
let's start naming like, oh,
you know what I hate?
So never mind.
I don't think
motherfucker.
so.
Okay, great.
I would be open to dating outside my race and all.
I'm
races,
totally
except
open.
aliens.
I would date an alien for sure. Alien as in Martian, not like
I'm about to say, don't they call?
Not like a Trump.
Not like
they
a-
call
right.
aliens. That's so
that is fucked up. Don't get me started on Republicans. Would you
Uh,
date
I
outside
think
your
in
race?
theory, I think I am open to it. I think
In
that
theory.
I think in theory, I tell myself like, anybody that I'm attracted to and that
Right.
you know is cool enough. Like I wouldn't be like, but he white. Like
I really
wouldn't-
wanted a Machine
I wouldn't
Gun
do
Kelly.
that.
I like him. He like black women.
I used to love Paul Walker. I used to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I loved him.
I'm gonna admit something here.
She been walking on back.
No. No, I will be, because when I think about people that like, if I think about a race that I'm apprehensive towards, which in a way I'm kind of apprehensive towards white people, but when I think of a race that I'm apprehensive towards, like for real, Nigerian men.
Girl, you ain't seen them beautiful ass weddings.
They be amazing,
Crazy.
but and this is based off stereotype and just me like knowing things from like older people. They just seem really intense, and I'm a heathen, and I can't deal. Like dating a Nigerian man is like the same reason I wouldn't date somebody in a frat. They usually are very intense, very like stuck on their religion and stuff like that, and I'm the heathen. I can't.
Well, yeah,
do it.
I
old
wouldn't want
school
that out of
Nigerian.
anybody. That doesn't matter, like what.
I know, and
race
that's what I'm saying, and that's why I say like
Yeah.
it's stereotypical, because in my experience, that's what I always know Nigerians and frats to be.
Nigerians
the race
and
of frat,
frats.
the race of frat boys, I would not do.
Fraternities.
But yeah, thank you all so much for chiming in on the conversation. Oh no, please chime in on the conversation. Comment below. Do you date outside of your race? Have you married a white man? How's that going for you?
Let's see. Send us pictures.
Oh, that
Of the
would be
fam.
really nice.
Yeah.
You know who's getting married soon that we went to high school with? Remember Sean and Morgan?
Oh, beautiful.
Their wedding is in like 10 days.
This is
Oh,
your
that's
business
beautiful.
too.
Something. Yes, since high school.
Yeah, they had. That's
Yeah,
nice.
beautiful, wonderful. Please make sure that you do all of that stuff. Follow us on all the places to be followed. You can follow us at Yay Match Publishing on the YouTube channel, and at Away With the Podcast on Instagram and not Twitter and Tumblr and Facebook. And you can follow me at Bree.stories on Instagram and at Bree_stories on Twitter and at A_Tati on Instagram and at Hey Tati on Twitter and at Ajano Asia at Ajano Asia everywhere. Yes, everywhere. And at MJM Kid as well, because you know that he got all of the visuals for you. And at MJM Kid has his photography page up and running as well at Moment Studios. At Moment Studios.
He does nude photography.
And he'll put the words, yeah, he will do nudes.
Yeah, I know.
I do nudes, Mom. And yeah, follow us and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.